My 9th year with my Golf R, and yeah, first video of the year, so happy new year to everyone. And for those who are not watching this on New Year's Day, yeah, welcome to the channel, welcome to another video in my 9-year-old, well, 8.5-year-old Golf R. I picked this up in July 2017, I'm gonna say, so quite some time ago, being now the 1st of January 2026. Seems crazy. So yeah, I'm just going to talk to you a little bit about this car. Hopefully it's going to be a lot of value to you guys, you know, to have a car and have done, you know, 61,500 miles in my MK7 Golf R. I've shared it on the channel for the best part of well, since I started the channel really in 2017. It's a 3-door manual in limestone grey. It's a pre-OPF and I love it. It's a great car, and as you can see, I still own the car today. And I'm also going to go on for a little bit of reflections from 2025 because I've driven a lot of cars on the channel. I share a lot of content generally on VW and Audi group cars. I love them. Golf GTIs, Golf Rs. I love my Audi RS3s and Audi S3s. So a little bit of a summary from 2025 all packed up into one video, including this being the start of my 9th year with my car, my Golf R, and why I still have it today really, and how it's been, and yeah, all a little bit around that. And also what's next for 2026 that we're now in, because I want to know your thoughts in the comments, because I'm super curious as in what's going to happen. I'm so surprised that this is, you know, I never thought beyond 2025 there'd be anything interesting to share. And actually when I picked up this car in 2017, I sort of had that 8-year target. I reckon I could have run this car, you know, for the 8 years. It's a 2017 car I picked up as a 3-month-old ex-demo from Warrington up in Manchester, main VW dealer. It had done about 1,400 miles, so it hadn't done too much. And yeah, and today it's on 61,558 miles, which is absolutely crazy. And we've got it in normal mode at the moment. My car basically has no options, as a little bit of a summary, other than the metallic grey, limestone grey paint is an option. Other than that, everything else from this generation of MK7 Golf R kind of came as standard. Like they introduced like heated seats came as standard, for example, so you don't get the missed buttons. I've even got a facelifted Mark 7.5 mirror, which came as standard. They sort of threw that in. Manual gearbox, that was a no-cost option, obviously. 3 doors, it's cheaper than a 5-door car. What else it's got? Dual zone climate control, sat nav. You had to pay extra to get Android Auto, but this car has Android Auto because it's after 2016 where they had their MIB2 update. Hopefully you don't get too technical, but that's probably the one to go for. It's got manual dials, so it doesn't have the the virtual cockpit that you get on the 7.5. It has heated windscreen washer jets, which is a bit random. Yeah, but actually surprisingly useful because we are in winter and it is cold, and often the UK is quite dark, dreary and grey anyway. And obviously the 4Motion comes as standard with every Golf R. So I have the 4-wheel drive, which I've really loved. I'm a bit of a 4-wheel drive kind of fiend. I think it just works really well. Yeah, that's just for me. You lose traction ultimately on the road, whether if you have a front wheel drive car or a rear wheel drive car, it doesn't matter what you have, what sort of power you have, you will spin up those wheels. Whereas in 4-wheel drive cars, you tend to get away with not, which is quite cool. You also actually get some cool things, and hopefully the radio won't come on. You get like a performance monitor, which is quite nice. So there's like the Think Blue, so it's a little bit of an eco sort of setting with a few of the blue lights, and the blue lights around there. Build quality is really good in this car. My miles per gallon at the moment being 26.4. Average over the 9 years, I don't know, 30 something, probably about 32. Genuinely you can get good economy out of this, which is quite cool. But as I was saying, if you press car a couple of times, you can get a performance monitor which shows the kilowatts, this car having I think it's 220 kilowatts, I could be wrong on that, but essentially it's 296 brake horsepower, and it's got, yeah, everything. It runs quite hot, this car. It runs at like 106 degrees, but a lot of Golf Rs I've seen have sort of done that too, from this 2-litre EA AAA engine. There you go. But I'm going to turn that off just for a second because we've got some fun roads up ahead. You might be familiar with these roads. etc. We'll come back to the Golf R in a second. It won't take me too long. What's my reflections on 2025 in terms of the cars I've driven? I'm very, very fortunate. I get to drive a lot of cars, and over my years of sort of sharing on the channel, I've built up quite a knowledge base on a large amount of different, generally performance cars is what I share on the channel. So hopefully this is going to be valuable to you. For example, the last car that I drove on the channel was a Touareg R, courtesy of Volkswagen UK. The Touareg R being 462 brake horsepower, mild hybrid. Really, really great car, actually. Yeah, really love it. If you haven't watched that video, and the last two sort of SUV ones, Audi SQ5, probably useful for this kind of weather, to be honest, how they are. But there's a couple of standouts that I've been really thinking of what really took me away. And I have to say, it is in Camp Audi. Yeah, I was really taken by Audi, to be honest. I'd never really considered it as a real sort of ownership car. Like, am I really that kind of person? Would I really, really recommend those kind of cars? Because you pay a lot more, but they're based on essentially the same platform. A VW Golf is the same as an Audi A3. It's also the same as Skodas and Cupras and stuff, but look, we won't get into the full specifics. But I drove the Audi RS3, and actually a subscriber recently commented and is getting one. And to cut a long story short, that was probably the most special car I've ever driven, which was a hatchback that could do everything. It was in Kalami Green, it had the carbon black pack, so it had the carbon wing, it had the bucket seats. I felt so special in that car. It was just insane. And it wasn't even that quick. It was quick if you really gave it some, but it just sounded great. 2.5 litre 5-cylinder. They didn't massively up the power, so it wasn't crazy quick. It had the presence with the wide arches, how they were able to manufacture that in today's difficult legislative modes. So that's probably my highlight from the car that I drove, and I had 7 days of it, which was brilliant. I might leave a link to that below if you wanted to check that out. I did a couple of videos on it. That car was really, really good. I also drove, as an honourable mention, an Audi S3, but the facelifted version, and that was actually about a month or so after I had the RS3, and I had that for 7 days as well. That was ridiculously good. It felt Golf R levels with Audi quality, as in Golf R fun levels. And it was, yeah, it just again took me away. Great car, and obviously a slightly less price point than an RS3, better on fuel. Arguably quicker because it had like the 2 litre turbo. It was a little bit, maybe a little bit lighter at the front end, but it didn't lag as much low down. So I liked it. Obviously great cars that I love as well, like the GTI Club Sport's great. The Golf Rs, the Mark 8.5s are really, really good. But yeah, the Audi sort of stayed on my sort of like top list, and they were brilliant. And I'm looking forward to, yeah, more experiences next year. There's probably others I'm forgetting about, but that's where I was at in terms of what sticks out in my mind, as in what would be worth getting up in the morning to drive would be a Kalami Green Audi RS3 2025 carbon black. That's worth getting up for. And on top of all of that, you could use it for stuff. It's still an A3, which is super cool. Really, really cool. I've got, as I talk about Audis, as soon as I say that, I have an Audi right up behind me. I might actually let him overtake me because I kind of want to concentrate, and that, I guess that's a bit of the stereotypes of an Audi sort of driver. So I'm going to quickly move over and let this guy pass. So with the Audi driver out of my way, and ultimately I know myself as a person, and I know how I drive, and I am on the road, and maybe I don't fit in with perhaps what is perceived by Audi drivers. I don't know. But either way, I think they're great cars. So that's kind of my highlights from 2025. Also, a lot of the stuff from the Volkswagen group seems exciting, and I'm excited to see what else kind of comes up. Now, what's next for 2026? That is the year that we are now in, being the 1st of January 2026. I have no idea. And I was sort of thinking, like, am I even going to share any content ever again? Because I never expected this to be a thing anymore, cars. You know, that's why I started the channel, because I thought it was kind of ending a bit of passion of mine in terms of sharing cool cars. I have to say, the couple of highlights of cars that I'm looking forward to that are definitely coming out, the GTI 50th, I think that will be cool. I'm looking forward to trying it and sharing it. 325 horsepower. Hopefully I have opportunities with Volkswagen UK, that'd be great. I'm also excited about a couple of other cars, like the potential Audi RS3 GT, which I've heard about. Maybe I might get an opportunity if that car does come out. Heard about it testing. If there is a Golf R with a 5-cylinder, that might be the absolute peak, or a Golf R with some extra aero tweaks. It looks like they're going to do some sort of update for it, perhaps to justify the larger price of it being sort of like a 50 grand car. So that's what I'm sort of excited about. I also heard that like Hyundai are coming back with perhaps cars and maybe hybrid stuff, and that all seems quite good. As you can see what I'm doing, I've put it into race mode, which opens the exhaust valves. It makes the steering a bit firmer. Traction control's off. I've got a dirt bike behind me, which he's probably gonna have a little bit of fun. But, oh, we've got a big lorry. Or something dead on the road as well. Great start to a fun road. You might be familiar with this road if you're from the UK. And this is what I love about my nearly 9-year-old Golf R in limestone grey. I don't care whether I take this out on the sunniest, glorious day in July, or in the wettest, miserable, greyest, salt-ridden day on the 1st of January 2026. In fact, if anything, I prefer driving this because it's great as like, for me, get out, it clears my head. I find it really helpful for my mental health. You can have fun within the limits. 300 horsepower is enough. It's such a great balance. The car's not crazy worth a lot of money. I would say it's worth about 15 grand. I did have an offer, as I shared in a video, which quite a few of you watched, of 11,750, which for a car of a full service history, as maintained as well as I have done with this car, given my neurodivergent tendencies to look after things pretty heavily. Yeah, that's where I'm at. And along these roads, it's super fun. And being a manual, which you can't really get anymore, you can sort of rev match it down. It sounds really good, even if some of it sounds imposed. It burbles from the back. It's a good car. And in fact, that road's so much fun, we will do it once more again. Particularly on a day where it's actually quite light traffic. Now, 2026, the truth is I don't know. Let me know in the comments, what are you looking forward to seeing? You know, I quite enjoy sharing ownership reviews and stuff, and sharing stuff which is useful to you. Let's see what happens, let's go with it. I'm quite looking forward to the Goodwood Festival of Speed. I enjoyed that last year, I've enjoyed that in years going forward, and I'm interested to know where the world is going in the car world. That's what kind of the channel is all about. Let's do this road again, because it's good. Now, this car is good. I can recommend them, and actually, you know, I put my money where my mouth is, that's why I've owned it for so long. A car between sort of like 10 and 30 grand in the UK, that kind of makes sense, or wherever you are in the world. I appreciate all my followers, whether you're in dollars or euros, in America or Germany, or Australia, as I have subscribers there also. That sort of budget range, which I'd say, I guess it's probably the same, I don't know, 10 and $30,000, 30,000 euros, 30,000 pounds max. It's just a happy medium for me. And a lot of the new cars don't cost that much, they cost a lot more. And I'm very grateful to have the opportunity to share those experiences with you, because that's what it's all about. I wouldn't have those opportunities if it wasn't for you guys watching. And to be able to share my real thoughts, because I'm on your side. As much as, you know, I have a good relationship with certain manufacturers and stuff, you know, if you're going to be spending like 55 grand, you damn well better be getting a good car. And I'm not going to be like, oh, this is amazing, this is wonderful, as I'm sad we're going to come up to the back of this 1.2 Clio Campus. Brings me back to perhaps my first car, my 1.25 Fiesta Z-Tech. Yeah, he's not really going to be going that fast. Perhaps that is a good time to slow it down and reflect on my Golf R and long-term ownership of cars. They're good. If you put your money into them and you look after them and you spend the money on looking after a car, my recommendations, and that's what I've done with all my cars, is to own them outright. I do not finance my cars. That's just me. The money then that I spend on stuff like brake fluid changes or spark plug changes or oil and filter changes or whatever, new battery, new thermostat, new clutch, it's all then reinvested back into the car, which I then use to drive. Woo! And that for me works. There you go. I actually only paid £24,950 for this car 8.5 years ago, so it's done pretty well. And 61,500 miles of fun, well, over 60,000 miles for me, has been really, really good. Really, really good. Yeah, just so good. It's a car that's looked after me in most spaces, as we'll knock it back into normal, but I've looked after it, and that's all you can do. You know, you get out what you put in. And perhaps for people getting new cars who are looking to get rid of them in a year or two or 3 because they depreciate a lot and stuff, how much effort and energy are you really going to take looking after it? It's under warranty and all that stuff. I don't know. That's up to you. And hopefully, for whatever reason, you find my channel useful and reflective and helpful for your buying choice, whether it's new or whether it is used. And the ownership reviews hopefully help as well. But this is my 9th year in my 2017 Mark 7 Golf R, and it is still working today. It has never technically let me down. The thermostat housing has leaked, but I've crawled it and had it replaced a couple of years ago. It's quite a common fault actually with Golf Rs and these EA888s. Battery went, which was actually replaced under warranty, so that left me sort of stranded a bit, but that was quite a few years ago actually, and that was actually a known fault with those batteries, so that hasn't gone since. The clutch was slipping, but the car still drove, so I replaced that. And I think that was more because this was an ex-demo, so I wonder if in those 1,500 miles, you got to drive these manuals well. You know, on this drive, I could potentially, you know, do the clutching. If you don't know how to drive, yeah, that's why you got to, you know, it's hard to find cars, and that's why it's quite hard to find cars on the used market as well. Are you going to find someone who's really, really looked after their car to an nth degree? You know, chat to the owner is the only real way you're going to know. Get a feel for them. Feel it out. This car's always stuck by me, and I've stuck with it. And in the time that I've had the channel, I've had a couple of cars on the side. I had a Fiesta ST200, which was tuned actually. It was a Revo Stage 2. Ridiculous. I regret selling that car. That was brilliant. I loved the grey colour of it as well. Great car. I ended up selling that after a couple of months because it was just too firm. The previous owner had like really lowered suspension. It was crazy loud. It was just a bit too much. And I actually made a bit of money on that car, which wasn't intended. I kind of just wanted to get out clean, but it's quite a rare car, so that's what happened. I then had a Mark III Focus RS edition, had that for 6 months again. Well, after paying dealer fees, you know, I lost a few £1,000s, but I had a car for 6 months and 4,000 miles, which was good fun. But I've always come back to this. As great as those cars were, and I'll be honest, I'm not really into the fast Fords as much now because I don't really see Ford's trajectory I don't know what they're doing. Maybe something will crop up in the future that might spike my fancy, but at the moment, that's not really the case. VW Audi stuff is very much where I'm at, and I'm really enjoying them. Would I ever get rid of this car for and actually not have a car on the side? I'd be quite interested in like a rare Golf GTI. I was checking one out actually, and there's only about 4 for sale of these. They're 2018 cars, and they're in something called Ruby Black Metallic, a really rare special paint colour. And there's hardly any of them, which kind of means that the values are quite good. You can get them pre-OPF. It's quite a cool colour, kind of looks like purple. Something like that would be quite interesting. Maybe a Mark 7.5 Golf R, if a mega high spec, Akrapovic exhaust, everything, 3-door manual still, that would be an option. I've always had a bit of a dream of owning a Porsche at some point in my life. You know, I could buy one today, but something's been holding me back a little bit on that. I'm not too sure what. To have a Porsche alongside something like this Golf R, maybe that might be the only way it would work for me, because I couldn't see a Cayman or something replacing this car, because obviously a Cayman is a 2-door sports car. That's what it is. Another great thing about Mark 7 Golf R on 18-inch wheels, turning circle. Absolutely love it. Right, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. Thank you for tuning in 2026. I wish you all a great new year. Let me know your thoughts on long-term ownership of cars. Let me know your thoughts about cars from 2026. Let me know your thoughts on cars that I've driven in 2025. If you comment, I will reply and I will get back to you. Yeah, happy new year. And I'm about to enjoy that fun road on my own, as I have been, albeit you've been on the camera, and reflect a bit more on what's to come and what is happening now, which is me enjoying a cool car on some nice roads.